Subscribe for the very latest.
Bye, Daddy.
What up, y'all? It's the one and only Courtroom. Back once again with another episode. Shout out to everybody liking, subscribing to the channel. And we just sitting there doing what we like to do, kicking it, talking, you know what I'm saying, amongst men, you know what I'm saying, kicking it, talking about hip hop. But you know everything is hip hop, so we talking about everything. You know what I'm saying? So today so I wanted to get into once again Ja Morant, right? The Grizzlies. Now the Grizzlies just signed Derrick Rose. Now I think I recall us talk. I think Walt, if I'm not mistaken, I remember Walt mentioning that they should sign Derrick Rose. Am I correct?
That's right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That move.
Yeah. So what do you think about that? Because there was talks. People were saying that he is the next Derrick Rose.
Excellent move by the Grizzlies. Excellent move. They both. If anybody can humble Ja Morant, is someone who's in Ja Morant's shoes. That's what I was saying before. Like, they got Steven Adams over there, but Steven Adams was never a max contract player, franchise point guard, next possible MVP-esque player. We all know at one point in the league, at one point in time, Derrick Rose was the coldest. Was the coldest point guard in the league, nice. And he was the MVP. He's the youngest MVP ever. So that's having Derrick Rose, and he's such a Zen dude now. Like he's, I'm not just saying that because he got dreads. Like Derrick Rose, Derrick Rose is like for real on that wave. Like he's for real. If anybody can calm him, it would be a dude who's been in his shoes before, and that's Derrick Rose. So that was a good signing by Memphis. Excellent sign.
Absolutely. What do y'all think about that, Chuck? What do you think about that?
You really think that? Oh, go ahead, Chuck. Go ahead.
Man, that was a very crafty move from the Grizzlies, because kind of just
the only 10 years. The only 10 years. Remember that though. The only 10 years separate from each other, so that's actually a good age.
Good difference. I think just because of like kind of something what Walt was talking about with like Steven Adams. Even though he's a veteran, he's well respected, he's not technically of the culture. So now you got two guys they picked up that is what they call thorough. They done been through it, and you can't BS them. That's Marcus Smart and that's Derrick Rose. So them two right there are basically gonna really reset their locker room and build that thing from ground up. So I think that was really brilliant to bring those two veterans in, and I think that's gonna really serve him well. Even if again they don't start off like just have like this real elongated conversations, but I think Ja will be able to see how they move and just soak that in and be like, okay, these are real professionals. And he'll be able to see how they structure their life outside the court and start picking that up. And I think that, I think it's going to be, well served for him. So I really like the signing. I think Derrick Rose is, to be honest, probably one of the most underrated bench players in the league. Like, it's not spoken of a whole lot because we always talk about Derrick Rose compared to his prime. When you think about it, he reconstructed his whole game, like, and his knees, that too. So, but definitely his game. Cold. And listen, but that's the thing. Like that's the thing you want to see if people, players can really pull off. Like once their either athleticism, falls off, or if they happen to have like a lot of injuries in the beginning of their career, like D Wade had, if he's able to have his game involved, and I was watching a couple games last season. I'm like, dang, Derrick Rose ain't getting no burn because every time he gets in there, I'm like, yo. But I understand like Tim Thibodeau and Tom Thibodeau. Yeah, he know that. But long story short, I think the Grizzlies are off to a very great start with these two signings for sure.
Now, Trim, you was gonna mention like, what you was gonna say about that?
Do you guys really think that the reason why they brought him, why the Grizzlies decided to put him on and sign him, was to keep Ja Morant in check, or do you think it was to probably try to save some kind of grace as far as signing Ja Morant, because he's suspended for a good portion of this next season?
I'm sorry, go. If you was gonna say something. Sure.
I think it's a 2-for-1. I think it's in the short term you'll have a established veteran who can technically start, or in this case, Marcus Smart could be the starting point guard in that time frame. Let Derek come off the bench, and I think they still have maybe what's the guy named Tyus Jones, who was the backup point guard last year. I don't know if he's still there, but so they'll get them guys, minutes while he's not there. But that's kind of like the short term, and then long term it's just, for both of them, either Derrick Rose or Marcus Smart, to be kind of a pseudo mentor, if you will, to help guide him throughout this, this part of his life, and trying to get him on the quote unquote straight and narrow. I think that'll go a long way. I think Ja, if you don't know it by now, I think he knows he is at the very end, like, of grace. Like, he knows that if he on the second strike, he know if he do something stupid again, he can. Like, I know people be telling, like, bro, you really losing like almost half the world in lifetime earnings playing with it. Like
endorsements and everything,
like all that. Like, you don't. So I think Derek and Marcus will, come in, set the groundwork or the framework of what that should look like, and just kind of really take him in and be like, hey man, we want. And I think they're gonna really set the table of, like, we have your best interests at heart, but we're gonna be firm, but we're gonna be fair with you. We're gonna let you stand at any given point. If you start going sideways, we're gonna let you know you're going sideways. Right. But I think he's gonna respect that, because he know the history them two got, and he know that you can't BS them. Like, you can play with them other guys that you had on there, like Dylan Brooks and them. You ain't gonna be able to play with them. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
So that's that for me.
Hey, Ja, listen, man. Mama always told me it was gonna happen, but I wish she ever told me when. Man, she should have told me when, man.
Bruh.
No more.
What you about to say, Walt, man?
Yeah.
Yeah. I honestly think that's why they got Derrick Rose. Like, if anybody can keep it's not even about keeping him in check. It's more about him reaching his potential at the end of the day. So he's not in his own way. Like, Derrick Rose has been there, done that. So having him be there, and especially, like, they're literally similar athlete types too, like crazy athletic, all that kind of good stuff. So if anybody could do it, it's definitely D Rose, man. If having Derrick Rose there to be able, and Marcus Smart that over there too, because I forgot about that, but having Marcus Smart over there, no nonsense, he will spark up with you in practice. Like, if you acting crazy, like, he will check you in mid-game.
You need that.
Yes, Ja Morant need that, because whoever his bros is, they ain't doing that. Like,
they trash.
So he needs that. So having those two, that kind of mixture, like I said, excellent signings by Memphis.
So
really good.
Second question. Do you guys think it'll actually work? Do you think Ja will actually take the hint and listen to these guys that they speak on whistle tone? You think it will actually work?
It's on Ja, but I think it'll work, because one thing is, like, him doing the gun stuff and that street posing stuff and all that kind of stuff. Derrick Rose is from that. He's from the heart of Chicago. He's from South Chicago. He's not from no nice neighborhood. And he grew up from the ground. So having him there, he'll tell us, like, I know what real gangsters is. I know what real danger is. And you not that. Like, and you don't need to be that. So having a dude like Derrick Rose, who's actually, I'm not saying, I don't even know about Ja Morant's background, but I know Derrick Rose is actually from the projects. He is from the low.
Mm-hmm.
So having him be there and be able to humble him in the sense of like, yeah, like, I know you hot stuff now, but you never even got to where I was at, and you could be better.
Right.
But if you don't get there, yeah, straight up. Like you have all this man still. I don't even think Nike dropped him because
they didn't.
He's still that good. Like they dropped Kyrie as their main point guard, and now they're going to him, and it's like, bro, like it's in your hand. Kyrie with Anta right now. No distant answer because that's a nice brand, but now that you're with Nike. You're with the Memphis Grizzlies. You have a great organization. You have a young team that's really good. You have a really good head coach. We have a team that can for real make some noise. You ain't gonna finna win no championship. I ain't saying they can't or can't.
Right.
But you have a real chance to be a top 5 guard all time if it's in your hands. It's in your hands. So why would you let that slip away? Because you want to prove that you're the toughest dude around, bro. That's not what it is, bro.
I'm rooting for you, Ja. I promise you, I'm rooting for you, brother. I have no. I mean, I do feel like the Grizzlies is playing like they his daddy or something like that, though, because he needs guidance, and not saying that that's a bad thing. But what the Grizzlies are doing, they're protecting their investment, right? And they're putting people around him that could mentor him, and they know their role and why they're there, right? It's not like they're coming there and saying, "Oh man, you gotta be babysitting." No, you know why you there, right? You know why you there. So they're doing what they're supposed to do. But all I'm saying is that should have been done in the AU when he was playing rec or whatever he was playing before he got to the NFL. I mean, NBA, sorry.
Well, he wasn't touted like that though. He ain't have no kind of fame for real until they got into the tournament. The team he was on got into the tournament, and he had a crazy dunk on somebody in that NCAA tournament. He was like, "Yo, I had like maybe 1,000 or 2,000 followers after that dunk. My joint, man, like."
Gotcha.
And then
he wasn't sought after at that time, what you said.
Nah, yeah. And then after that, everybody started watching his games, and they was like, "Yo, this kid is the real deal." And then he got drafted, second overall, and he's been hooping, and clearly the game come easy to him. He's mad nice. He got signed a 5-year, $200 million contract. Like, yo, yeah, the Grizzlies have 200 million reasons to sign Derrick Rose and be like, "Hey, look, get this boy in check,
right? Please,
we need this." Put in the call. But speaking to something you said, Walt, like that has to play a very interesting mind trick, because you think about it, like you go from like, all right, I barely made it to college. I wasn't a blue chipper. I grind. I go to a school that very few people know. I have a very viral moment. I am now pushing the stardom. And how do I? And the reason I said, it came to me because I just watched, yesterday, Shooting Stars, that LeBron movie.
Seen it. Great.
It's one statement his coach said to LeBron in I think it was junior year, and that's when stuff started to kind of fall off the cliff a little bit. He was like, your benchmark for success is going to be entirely dependent on how you manage pressure, and that is what Ja has to do. He has to learn how to manage the pressure of being Ja Morant.
So let me ask y'all this question, because I'm gonna take that conversation, that part what you said, a little further before we end this segment here. So, Walt, you say that Ja Morant wasn't a sought after basketball player, right? And then, so that means that even though I feel like most, like in NFL, they no matter if you're a star or not. I think the other, like, before they get to the NFL, they do give them some type of prep in terms of how they should handle media and stuff like that. But so that could give a young man some type of like self-made mentality.
Almost definitely.
Because if you weren't checking for me before, right? I did that dunk. Not you, right? Now I'm popping because of that dunk. So my followers and my social media goes up. You didn't do that, I did that. Right? Then you got that mentality of they need me. I ain't come looking for them, they came looking for me, right? So that could be, not to say it is, but that could be his mentality. You know what I'm saying? Going into the NBA, that I'm self-made.
He owes, I do know that Ja Morant owes a lot of his stake. Like, he gives his dad his credit all the time. But his father's playing it smooth. Like, his father's like really on that wave of like, I'm gonna let him make his own mistakes. I'm gonna let him do his own thing. Like, he ain't on that. He believed in his son all day, but he was asked, I think someone asked Ja Morant in an interview, he was like, what does your dad say about you? Is he proud? I mean, yeah, he's proud and everything, but he said, I still suck. Like, it's that and the third. So, of course he doesn't. But in that term of self-made, like, we got to remember, like, he's 19 years old. He was like 19 years old when he got drafted. And then after, his second year in the league, he gets signed to a 5-year max deal, super max deal. And that's $200 million to a 21-year-old kid like this. And you popping in a city that ain't been popping in I don't know how long. Memphis is a city that has not had a star since Rudy Gay. And since Rudy Gay, ain't been no star. So now you got this kid who is, everybody was talking about him and all that kind of stuff. Like, the juice gonna get to the dome. It's gonna get to his head. Like he was talking about, Chuck was talking about shooting stars. Like, yo, LeBron was like borderline of alcoholic for while he was watching this.
I didn't know that. I was like, yo, it was okay. That and of course just I didn't know he was suspended.
Yeah,
for that
I forgot.
Year.
It's like, bro, like how quickly we forget. But at the same time, LeBron was younger and had way higher expectations. That's why you give LeBron so much credit for him being able to keep his cool all this time. But a kid like Ja Morant, like, you seeing all this stuff happen, you gotta remember, it's like, yo, man, that's what Memphis, to answer Trim, like, Memphis see that, yo, he a young kid. And until you get a man that's walked your walk to show you a bit how to walk this walk, it's who gonna tell me what's up? Like, even Allen Iverson way back in the day, like, Allen Iverson, great all time, great all that kind of stuff. But who was gonna tell AI about practice? You feel me? Like, who was gonna tell Allen Iverson about what? I'm the best player in the league. I done won a game against the three-peat Lakers. I'm Allen Iverson. You feel me? And I'm not saying Allen Iverson was a cocky dude at all. I'm just saying that ego, I know him believing in himself and having a bit of that ego, that does help you play well. That is an essential thing. But now to having someone to show him how to for real contain that, I think that's going to speak levels too. That's why I think it'll work. I'm praying.
Right, man. Like I said, we rooting for you. I hope that Ja don't look at some things and think that people are rooting against him, man. Or we want you to win, brother. So shout out to the Grizzlies for thinking about him and investing in him and his future, because I think this definitely is going to be the beginning of a brighter future for Ja Morant. And y'all in the comments, let us know what's going on. Like, what y'all think about the signing? Y'all think that this is a waste of time? That it ain't gonna do nothing? Ja's gonna still be Ja. He's still a knucklehead. Some of y'all, I know y'all thinking that, So y'all let us know in the comments what y'all think. Shout out to Derrick Rose again. Huh?
I don't know if Trim with it. You ain't with it? You don't think so?
As far as what him turning it around, just like what Tino said, man, I pray so, dude. Because like, I root for us. Period. Like any accomplishment that we as a people get, I root for us. My thing is that I just pray that especially with this younger generation, I just pray that they see opportunities and they are thankful for it, because it doesn't have to happen like that. You can have all the talent in the world, but be thankful and gracious of the opportunities you get, because it could go so sideways so quick. Like anything that we get, we need to champion that, and we need to see how can we take full advantage of this opportunity and make something positive out of it. I mean, Ja I'm pretty sure he has so many other younger eyes looking at him, and regardless of how he views or feels or whatever, he's a role model. He's a role model for everybody, especially these younger kids underneath him. With every single opportunity, taking a note from Uncle Ben from Spider-Man, great power comes great responsibility. So everything that we get, seize that moment, look at that, and take it for what it is. Don't take it to where like, this is my chance to get up on here and be like, I'm the king of the world. Take every chance you get and just make something out of it and make it to where it's doing something good. That's all I gotta say.
Shout out to Uncle Ben. You make some great rice, son.
Chill, bro.
I did not see that come at him.
Hey, I'm just saying.
It's Tino. What do you expect? It's Tino. What do you expect? It's him. What do you expect?
Too much is given, much is required, bro.
Hey, that's a fact.
Hey, Ja, the only thing you have to do, Ja, if you're listening, just don't get in your own way, bro. That is it.
Exactly.
Just don't get in your own way.
He has a path paved for him.
Pretty much.
All you got to do is just walk down it. You don't have to be like, you know what, I'm going to sit up here, see if I can put a dynamite here, see if I can put a jackhammer right here, see if I can just like try to run through this with a train track in an armored vehicle and see if how many dents I can pull down this lane and everything, and just dig a car.
Hey, Trey, you went to that military bag on us, bro.
I'm just saying, that's the closest I can explain exactly what you're trying to do.
Hey, that's a good way to end it, man. I'm just saying.
Hey, amen.
Hey.
Just saying.
Leave the straps alone, son. Leave the straps alone. But anyway.